The timetables clearly don't match. While US officials are indicating strikes on Syria are likely within days, the United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has urged the world to give peace a chance by allowing chemical weapons inspectors at least another 4 days to do their work. And here tonight, the Labour Party has backed that call, insisting that MPs should see the inspectors' report before approving any military action. That could mean trouble for David Cameron as he seeks Parliament's approval for military strikes in tomorrow's debate. In a moment, we'll be speaking live to the Shadow Foreign Secretary. But first, our political editor Gary Gibbon reports now on the increasingly rancorous countdown to action.
As UN inspectors sped through the streets of Damascus this morning to revisit the scene of last week's attack, both the Labour Party and the UN Secretary-General tried to slam the brakes on US-led military action against Syria. Ban Ki-moon, on a visit to the Netherlands, appealed to the United States, Britain and France to wait for the UN inspectors to finish their report on whether chemical weapons were used and pause their plans to bomb Syria in the next few days.
The team needs time to do the job. That is why earlier today, right here in Peace Palace, I said, give peace a chance. Give diplomacy a chance. They are working very hard under very dangerous circumstances. Let them complete their work for 4 days.
Ban Ki-moon said that meant not only 4 more days of inspections in Syria, but time for the team to analyse its findings, delaying US-led attacks planned for the end of this week. The US has already described the UN inspection as redundant because Washington already has the evidence of chemical attacks. Here, Labour, having yesterday sounded like it was pretty much ready to support David Cameron on military strikes on Syria, today appeared to row in behind the UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon. Labour produced an amendment saying that David Cameron should put a pause on things, come back to the Commons only when the UN inspectors have reported. It blows a hole in what Number 10 was thinking yesterday was an all-party consensus and raises the serious possibility of a government defeat tomorrow.
We would want to see both the evidence of the weapons inspectors being brought to the Security Council of the United Nations and indeed the Security Council itself being consulted on this very serious set of circumstances.
One aide to the Labour leader said he was simply concerned that the whole process was legally watertight and seen to be fair. But one shadow cabinet source said that the Labour leader had slammed into reverse gear, under pressure overnight from senior colleagues who thought he was giving his support too freely to David Cameron.
So Mr. Hammond, what contribution would you make to recruit?
After a meeting of the National Security Council, military and intelligence chiefs chaired by the Prime Minister, Foreign Secretary William Hague said Britain would be seeking the support of the United Nations for a resolution backing action against Syria. But William Hague made it clear he had no intention of delaying military action while waiting for the United Nations backing he thinks will never come.
I expect there will be further discussions in New York over the coming days, but we have started those discussions about a UN resolution, because by far the best thing would be if the United Nations could be united, unlikely as that seems in the face of vetoes from Russia and China that we've had in the past, but we have to try to do that. We're clear that if there can't be agreement, if there isn't agreement at the United Nations, then we still have a responsibility, we and other nations still have a responsibility on chemical weapons.
Outside Downing Street, anti-war demonstrators tonight. David Cameron knows he has doubters and total sceptics closer to home on his own Commons benches.
Along with many of my colleagues, I suspect, I'm probably 90% likely, or 99% likely probably, to vote no. I think that if we're going to carry out this matter, it's not something we can do on a few days grandstanding, producing expressions like we can't stand idly by, therefore presumably we must do it. I don't believe that that's a very good reason for going to war at all.
It's possible there is wriggle room in the US timetable for attack planned for the end of this week. Number 10 tonight. We'll be looking at that, its vote tally for tomorrow, and sweating.